Hi everyone, I am going to show you how to generate pressure and try to gain a positional advantage using sacrifices, as long as you're sacrificing for a positional advantage. This game is on the PS4. It's called Pure Chess, and we're playing against a computer which is level 500. Not exactly super easy, but not exactly super hard. So they can be challenging, but if you overload, or they're not going to see it as quick as you would think. I'm going to do a basic open. I'm just going to explain before I move the piece around. Basically, I'm going to try to make moves that'll set up my bishops in fianchetto. So go ahead and start there, move the pawn forward. They set up. They actually get the fianchetto first. Okay, I'm going to block with the knight. Simple enough. And, you know, as I said, I'm just working on developing pieces here. I moved this bishop here. I don't know if it's great or not, but to, you know, block off, which they can obviously defend with that pawn and develop their piece. So maybe not a great move there. As we move on, I noticed a pattern, and the pattern is that black wants to castle on this side, which is kind of what I was looking to figure out. Okay, which way they're going to castle, and the reason being is I want to know which side I can attack and which side I can overload on. So if they were going to castle this way, I'd want to overload on this side. If they're going to castle this way, I'm going to try to overload on this side, meaning I'm going to castle the opposite side. Prefer, if I can, castle the other side. I might not be able to in this game, but I want to generate as much pressure as possible and, you know, take out these pawns or whatever, and, you know, try to gain a positional advantage here. And they do castle that side. Good. Okay. I'm not going to attack yet. I just moved this pawn forward, and the reason I did that is because if I do anything with the knight right here, I have the queen, or I have open spot for the queen, where the queen can work together with some pieces and possibly put pressure down the road. Okay. That move negates my bishop's attack line right there. Now I'm going to attack, and I move the knight forward here. And my idea is, if they do nothing, is to just take out this piece and then work something up with the pawn. If they do it a little different, I'll play it a little differently. Okay, a lot of times when they put this, I move this pawn forward right here, people will back off and not do anything, but I would like to gain a positional advantage and put pressure on them, so I'm just going to leave that knight right here. I'm actually going to bring the pawn right here, and they take my knight. So I'm actually down material now. Now, a lot of times, I think the first reaction would be, okay, I'm just going to recapture this piece right here. But if I do that, I don't really have a positional advantage. I basically given up the knight for nothing. So I think a better move is to simply push forward and see what the computer does here. Now they could take this piece with a pawn right here, and I'll just move my rook forward. Or, you know, they could leave it. There's a lot of different ways it can play out. We'll see how it plays out. I want to use this pawn combined with a rook, and, well, I've obviously got the queen blocking that too. I want to use that to generate pressure and then shorten the amount of moves their king can make, because obviously if we capture the king, we win the game. Material doesn't matter in that case. I'm not sure what that move exactly accomplishes, but whatever. Now we're going to start attacking. Now, if you notice, I moved the knight forward. However, if you'll notice, that opens up a line of attack here. I don't really care, because if they take my rook, I can move the queen here and put even more pressure, potentially, on the computer here. What I'm looking to do is take out this piece, obviously, with the knight. Black moves their knight right there. Fair enough. Now I've got the knight here, and if I can get a queen, or, you know, I can work a lot of different spots out and put pressure here. So the trick is figuring out how to get the exact positional advantage and pressure so you get the checkmate, which is it's a little bit tricky. If these moves don't work, you're, down material, and you're probably going to lose most of the time. So you got to be spot on with your moves when you do this kind of stuff. Okay, bishop takes my rook right there, and I'm simply just going to recapture the queen there. Now the next move is they went knight right here. I could take it with the bishop. Bishop's in bad position and everything, but they're going to put the knight here. What I'm really worried about is the knight going to this spot right here and checking my king and then taking the queen, which would negate everything I've worked for positionally so far. Now, there's 3 different ways I can move the king. I could move the queen up to here. I think the worst move, I probably should have gone straight here with the king, but I ended up going right there. And after thinking it over, I decided to go right there with the king. And there, they moved a knight, where they can take either one of these 2 pieces. I don't really care about the bishop because it's in a bad position, but I do care about my queen. And I think the best move is to go right here, because this isn't a good move. This isn't a good move. So, okay, I go right there. Alright, computer moves the queen right here, looking to trade off or take my queen if I don't do anything, so I have to move the queen. And the best option I see is right here, where I could put a lot of pressure on the king, potentially checkmate a couple moves. Computer sees this, they put the check with the knight, simply block there, and they're going to put check again with the knight. Now, if you'll notice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces for the computer. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but not quite as big. I'm down a rook and stuff. What I'm going to do is just move my king right here, because there's none of these pieces can be brought forward to put pressure on my king. I guess they could check with this piece right here. Okay, computer moves the rook out of the way, and if you see here, we have a mating pattern. It's basically a check in 2, or checkmate in 2. I'm going to go right here, check. They're going to move here, and then go right here, and that's going to be checkmate. So there's the check. Computer moves, and all we need to do is put the queen right there, and that is checkmate. So hopefully this video helps in terms of showing you how to gain a positional advantage. So you have to sacrifice pieces, but you got to be smart in how you can do it, and you can only do it in situations where you can shorten the board, so to speak, where the computer doesn't have a lot of options. If you notice, the computer only had 2 spaces and whatever, 1 or 2 spaces with the king. What you want to do is you want to try to shorten the board if you can do something like that, and make sure you have enough pressure, enough pieces where you can do that. If you can't do that, then you play the the grinded out game, where you play for material and then you hope to get to an end game and figure out a way to win there. So hopefully this video helps out a little bit. Thank you for watching.